Yo, what it do, YouTube? Small Durag here, and today I have something very special for you guys. I have a Ghostface guide. Now, in this guide, we'll be going over the best maps, the best perks, the best builds, the best add-ons, and basic tips to use in Chase when you're playing Ghostface. Now, first, let's start by discussing his power and attributes. Ghostface moves at 115% or 4.6 meters per second. He has a 32-meter tear radius, and he has average height. Now his power is Night Shroud. Press the power button to activate Night Shroud when the power gauge is full. The Ghostface is granted the undetectable status effect while Night Shroud is active. Performing a basic attack fully depletes the power gauge and deactivates Night Shroud. Now when he is in Night Shroud, he has no tear radius and he has no red stain as well. Now when the Ghostface is in Night Shroud, survivors can reveal him. Survivors within proximity to the Ghostface may attempt to reveal him by looking in his direction for a short duration. A successful reveal fully depletes the Ghostface power and automatically deactivates Night Shroud. Survivors who reveal the Ghostface have their current location indicated by Killer Instinct for a very short duration. Now, part of his special ability is to stalk survivors. Hold down the power button to stalk survivors while Night Shroud is active. Hold down the power button while behind cover to lean out and stalk at a faster rate. Completing stalk progress on a survivor marks your target and applies the exposed status effect to your mark for a limited amount of time. Marked survivors cannot reveal the Ghostface. Now, when a survivor is marked, that basically means they are insta-down and you only have to take one health state from them instead of two. Part of his special ability is also to be able to crouch. Press the active ability button to crouch. Press the active ability button again while crouched to stand. The Ghostface moves at a slower speed while crouched. Now that we've discussed the basics of his power, let's get into the best maps. Arguably, more than anything else, Ghostface thrives on indoor maps like RPD, Larry's, Midwich, Hawkins, and one that's not indoor but you may find surprising is Ormond, and we'll get into that after we explain why he thrives on indoor maps the best. Now, Ghostface thrives on indoor maps the best due to the fact that he can catch you in long hallways where there is nothing to block line of sight, which then makes it easier for him to stalk and expose you. Indoor maps are also the best because there's so many different pathways he can take to catch you off guard and keep himself hidden. And the final reason I'd say indoor maps are the best is because he can catch you in rooms with very few exits, making it harder for you to escape his grasp. An example of what I'm talking about is this clip right here. Now, the reason I say Ormond is one of his best maps is because if you use the main building to your advantage, you can basically stalk from any point on the map, which is a huge advantage that most people don't know about. You can also hook people in wide open areas, which will allow you to stalk the person that is coming for the hook save. You can see an example of what I'm talking about in this clip right here. You poor fool. Now that we went over the best maps, let's get into the best perks. I'm only going to name about 10 here because there's honestly way too many perks that work well with Ghostface. The first one we have here is Surge. Putting a survivor into the dying state with the basic attack causes all generators within a 32-meter radius to explode instantly and begin regressing. Generators affected by Surge immediately lose 8% of their progress. Now this is good on Ghostface because you're an M1 killer basically, and you will always get value from Surge as long as the survivor that you down is near a generator. Now the next perk we have here is Discordance. Any generator within a range of 128 meters that is being repaired by 2 or more survivors is marked by a yellow aura. When the generator is first highlighted, Discordance triggers a loud noise notification on the generator. After the generator is no longer within range or is no longer being repaired by 2 or more survivors, the aura remains for another 4 seconds. Now this is good on Ghostface because you always want to bother multiple survivors at once if you can, because that will allow you to get more value from your power and stalk multiple people. Now the next perk we have here is Lethal Pursuer. At the start of the trial, the auras of all survivors are revealed to you for 9 seconds. Anytime a survivor's aura is shown for a period of time, his duration is increased by 2 seconds. Now this perk is good because it'll help you get an early start and get those stalks off on survivors and reveal their exact location. The next perk we have is a Nurse's Calling. Unlocks potential in one's aura reading ability. The auras of survivors who are healing or being healed are revealed to you when they are within a 28-meter range. Now this perk is really good on Ghostface because, as you know, he can hide his tear radius and he can easily sneak up on survivors who are healing and catch them off guard. Alright, the next perk we have here is Sloppy Butcher. Wounds inflicted by basic attacks cause survivors to suffer from the hemorrhage and mangled status effects, increases the rate at which healing progression is lost from hemorrhage by 25%. Both status effects are removed once the survivor is fully healed. Sloppy Butcher is just a really great perk because once you find someone healing, you'll regress it back to nothing. So it's just a really good slowdown perk to have on Ghostface and in general. The next perk we have is Corrupt Intervention. 3 generators located furthest from you are blocked by the entity for 120 seconds. At the start of the trial, survivors cannot repair these generators for the duration. Affected generators are highlighted by a white aura. Now, Corrupt Intervention is just a really good perk on Ghostface because it will bring the survivors closer to you, allowing you to stalk them easier, and it'll give you some slowdown at the beginning of the game as well. Alright, the next perk we have here is Mindbreaker. While repairing generators, survivors are afflicted by the blindness and exhausted status effect. Any existing exhausted status effect timers are paused while the survivor is repairing a generator. After ending the repair action, the survivor is afflicted by the blindness and exhausted status effect for 5 seconds. Now, Mindbreaker is really good because exhaustion perks are big in DBD. Almost every survivor uses them, and exhaustion perks can extend a chase from anywhere up to 30 seconds to even a minute. So this is a good perk to just counteract that. The next perk we have here is Pop Goes the Weasel. After hooking a survivor, the next generator you damage instantly loses 30% of its current progress. Normal generator regression applies after the damage generator action. Pop Goes the Weasel is active for 45 seconds after the survivor is hooked. Pop Goes the Weasel is just really good because it will give you gen slowdown, which is very necessary when playing killer because gens go really fast if you don't have any gen slowdown at all. The next perk we have is Bamboozle. Your vault speed is 15% faster. Performing a vault action calls upon the entity to block the vault location for 16 seconds. Only one vault location may be blocked in this way at any time. The vault location is blocked only for survivors, does not affect pallets. Now this is a really good perk that will shut down strong loops immediately, like Killer Shack, and it will allow you to down the survivor quicker and end your chases in a more timely manner. For the final perk, we have Play for Food. You become obsessed with one survivor. Every time you chase your obsession and let them escape, you receive a token up to a maximum of 3 tokens. Each token increases your movement speed by 5%. Performing a basic or special attack spends 1 token. Now this perk is good on Ghostface because it will help you end chases quickly, and it will also give you a movement speed boost that you can pair with his add-ons that give you movement speed boost as well. And the final reason I would say it's really good on Ghostface is because you can conserve stacks of Play for Food by insta-downing people, which is something that you want to be doing as Ghostface anyway. Alright, now let's get into the best builds. I'm only going to give you guys my personal top 3, and then we're going to move on to the best add-ons. Alright, for the first build we have Hex Ruin, Hex Undying, Sloppy Butcher, and A Nurse's Calling. Now, the reason this is one of my top 3 builds is because it has Gen Slowdown, it has Healing Slowdown, and then it has Information with Nurse's Calling. So it has really great synergy all together with Ruin Undying, and then Sloppy Butcher and Nurses has really great synergy as well. Alright, the next build we have features some information, some perks to help you in chase, and some gen slowdown as well. We have Barbecue and Chili, Bamboozle, Mindbreaker, and Surge. So this has a little bit of everything that will help you in most situations that you find yourself in when you're playing killer. Now for the third build we have Corrupt Intervention, Discordance, Call of Brine, and Pop Goes the Weasel. Now this build has slowdown with Corrupt Intervention, it has gen regression with Pop Goes the Weasel and Call of Brine, and then it has information with Discordance. This build is really good if you struggle with gens being completed too quickly. Alright, now those 3 builds I showed you will also be featured in another video, which will be the top 3 meta builds on Ghostface, almost as an extension of this video, where I will further showcase why these builds are good and how reliable they are. So stay tuned for that video in the next coming weeks. Now let's get into the best add-ons. For the first one, we have Outdoor Security Camera. The auras of all survivors are revealed to you for 7 seconds when a marked survivor is put into the dying state. Now this add-on will always get you value as long as you're using your power correctly. This is by far one of his most powerful add-ons. I'd say it's definitely S tier. I'll show you a clip of this add-on in action right now. Alright, now the next add-on we have is Ghostface Caught on Tape. This instantly recharges Night Shroud after a successful basic attack that puts a survivor into the dying state. This add-on is also one of his best as well. I would say it's S tier. It's really good by itself, but it has even better synergy with the last add-on I showed you. I'll show you a clip of them together right now. Look at your little dumb ass. Look at you. What the fuck? You better go get the running. For the next add-on, we have Drop Leg Knife. The Ghostface gains 10% movement speed for 5 seconds after marking a survivor. I would say this add-on is A tier, because having a speed boost after marking a survivor can be the difference between them making it to the next loop or you getting the down. You can see this add-on in action in my next clip. She agrees, we get her. We probably get her anyway. Look at this. Lovely. Speed boost from Player for Food. And from marking her because of the drop knife add-on. Now the next add-on we have is Olsen's Wallet. Breaking a pallet or wall immediately recharges Nitro. This add-on is good due to the fact that it will often throw survivors off who have just broke you out of your power, because they won't be expecting you to get it back so quickly. It also helps in situations where you may make a mistake and get broken out of your power. I'll show you a quick example of this in my next clip where a survivor breaks me out of my power, but then I get it right back, which ends up helping me stalk her 75% of the way. Now for the next add-on, we have Wally's Matchbook. Decreases nitro recovery time by 6 seconds. Now this add-on is pretty self-explanatory. Getting your power back 6 seconds quicker is a huge help. His base kit nitro recovery time is 20 seconds, so with this add-on it will take it down to 14 seconds. Alright, now we're going to get into the tips to use during chase. For the first one, we have lean stalking mid-chase. This is a tactic you want to use when you notice a survivor is going to be in a wide open area with no way to block line of sight. Here's an example in this clip. Now let's try to get her in a bad spot. Perfect. Okay, she's 75% of the way, that's fine. For the next tip, we have 99ing survivors and coming back to them later. This is a tactic you want to use when you notice a survivor is going to be at a strong loop or pallet. If you can, you want to stalk them before they get to the loop or pallet and then come back to them later. Here's an example in the next clip. We can get a stalk here. Nice. They're basically 75%, both of them. So if Meg heals up, she wasted her time. And Steve is fucked regardless, no matter what he does. Steve does not know he's about to be insta-down. For the next tip, we have 2-in-1. And the first one is going to be hooking survivors in wide open spaces. And the second one is going to be stalking survivors on their way to the hook. Now this is a good tactic because it will catch survivors off guard. They won't be expecting you to be lurking around the hook. And you can stalk two people at the same time because once they unhook the other survivor, you can stalk them as well. I'll show you an example of this in my next clip where I hook a survivor in a wide open space and then I stalk the survivor coming to get them while they're on the way to the hook. Okay, let's put them in a spot where we can look at them on hook. That's another thing about Ghosty. If you hook someone in a spot in the wide open, that's an easy way to get another down. You poor fool. Alright, for the next tip, I don't have a clip to show you guys, but it's one that you want to keep in mind, and that is not hitting survivors that you've already stalked. Now, sometimes when a survivor notices that you've already stalked them, they will come try to body block for someone else that you're chasing, or they will try to body block while you're on the way to the hook. So if you can, avoid them at all costs so you don't waste the time that you spent stalking them. The next tip I have for you guys is not stalking survivors until they're close, and that's simply just because you don't want a survivor to make it to a strong loop or pallet, and then you waste your time trying to catch up to them, and then you might not even end up getting the down. Alright, now the final tip I have for you guys is stalking injured survivors. Stalking injured survivors is an asset to you because you leave them with the decision of either healing up and wasting their time because they're going to be insta-down later, or just staying injured, which helps you get the down easier when you run into them next time. In this next clip, I'll be showing you an injured Meg that I stalked who ended up healing up and wasting her time because I insta-downed her moments later anyway. We can get a stalk here. Nice. They're basically 75%, both of them. So if Meg heals up, she wasted her time. And Steve is fucked regardless, no matter what he does. Oh, Meg. It's not gonna end well for you. Speed boost. We didn't need coup de grace, but did it anyway just to be safe. Alright, now this concludes the Ghostface guide. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and were able to learn something from it, or apply something you saw and use it in your gameplay. This is my first time doing this type of video, so if you have any thoughts or suggestions that I could possibly add to a future video, feel free to leave a comment. Thank you everyone so much for the support. Till next time.